What's going on, everybody? It's Rev, and welcome back to another Dauntless video. Today I want to go over the brand new sword special that just entered Dauntless called Avenging Overdrive. Avenging Overdrive can be acquired at the Lucky Break or Lady Luck shop for 500 steel marks if you're interested in picking it up. But the first thing I want to go over before we get into Avenging Overdrive is going over Valiant Overdrive and where that value comes from, because Valiant Overdrive is a very good special. It's a special that allows you to dash, evade, and just maintain uptime fighting the behemoth. You have other hidden abilities such as being able to dash off of Koshai thorns without taking damage, jumping and dashing to allow yourself to jump over like Gary trails or honestly any hazard that would be on the ground, and just cover a lot of distance that a normal weapon can't do. And so that being said, Valiant Overdrive is very good. It's hard to really quantify how good it is, so just keep that in mind when we're talking about Avenging Overdrive, because Avenging Overdrive adds raw damage to the sword. It still has the slicers, it still has the ability to be, I guess, cool in its own way. It has these moments where you feel untouchable, where if you're using it properly, you're dodging in between the moments that you can't use the counter because there is a slight cooldown on it. But there are moments in series of attacks that you just feel untouchable and you see the damage coming through. But those windows are very few and far between. And where Avenging Overdrive shines is on behemoths that attack frequently and can't be interrupted, because when a behemoth is getting interrupted, it's not obviously not attacking you, so you're not getting any value out of the counter existing. I suppose you could argue that you're not getting value out of the dash when it's overpowered, when it's knocked over, but like the dash doesn't offer any value because you could dash over to something that got knocked over or interrupted, right? Like an Ember Main or something. There's a lot of advantage to just being right up on it immediately without having to waste any stamina or what have you. The nice thing about Avenging Overdrive is that it can boop and it can counter pretty much anything that can hit you. That's Boreas, minion explosions, Boreas in general, which is nice. Koshai interrupts, projectile, Karabac projectiles. You can throw that counter out at any point in time if you are out of stamina or stuck on Koshai thorns again. In trials, there are moments where a shockwave is coming towards you and you're evading an attack, and then you need to counter that. So you can roll into a counter, and so you can kind of extend your iframes that way. It's very useful if you need to dodge like two simultaneous attacks. Another cool advantage of Avenging Overdrive is that when you use the initial Q press or special press, I guess it's right bumper on controller, when you use that ability, it sends you into the counter already. So going into Overdrive is a counter within itself, which is also very nice. So you can prepare that special button press for an attack and then get maximum value out of that. I'm glad that Phoenix Labs had the foresight to kind of do that. And the other cool thing is that after you counter, you can go into a heavy attack combo, which means that repeating elements is on the board. So you can counter, then go straight into repeating elements if the situation calls for it and you have enough stamina to do so. That's one of my favorite things about the sword in general, is its versatility in combos. You can pretty much use any combo and be successful for the most part, as long as you're not just spamming light attack. Heavy attack is definitely where you want to be spamming if you are spamming, but if you're using Avenging Overdrive, make sure you're using those heavy attacks afterwards, because chances are there's going to be a little bit of downtime. You're going to be able to squeeze out a little bit of damage, then maybe go into another counter depending on how much time is in between attacks. Just a little something for you guys to keep in mind. That's pretty much Avenging Overdrive. I highly recommend, just to recap, you can boop with it, you can counter pretty much anything, you can counter ranged projectiles, you can counter Boreas minions, you can dodge and then immediately counter to extend your iframe if you need so. It's a very good defensive tool and I highly recommend it. It's very fun to play And when you have those series of untouchable moments, it feels really good. Avenging Overdrive gets my stamp of approval. I think it's really fun. Is it better than Valiant Overdrive? I think in some cases it kind of teeter-totters. I think Valiant Overdrive is really good on things like Karabac, Reza, just behemoths that move around a lot and are interruptible, because when a behemoth gets interrupted, chances are they're going to be sliding across the floor or just going flying, and you have to chase after them. Anything you need to chase, Valiant Overdrive. Anything like big and brutish, right? Hellion, Charog, again, that's where you're going to want to use Avenging Overdrive. That's going to wrap up this video. Thank you all so very much for watching. I really enjoy the sword, and making content about my favorite weapon is one of my favorite things to do. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you liked it, please leave a like. If you're not already, definitely subscribe to the channel if you're interested in receiving more Dauntless content. And if you want to support the channel, you can use creator code RevvyRad in the Epic Games Store or Dauntless in-game store. I am on Team Enduring Force or Team Green if you're interested in what team I'm on. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Have a lovely day. I will see you on the Shattered Isles.